Hey guys, Mr. Ridgway here. So this video is made just in case I can't be here for today's lessons, excuse me, on the Greeks and the Minoans. However, what this is designed to do is kind of to take you through the mini lesson that we have today, which is on kind of an introduction to Greek geography, as if I was there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to skip past the warm-up, which you guys will do, and a few other things. And what we're really looking at here is, in our mini lesson, is going to be the role of geography and how the Greeks develop as a civilization. So we're going to be talking a lot about cause and effect. Now, again, this is not saying that geography causes everything to happen, but it certainly can have an influence on the decisions that we decide to make. And so we are basically only in this video going to do the mini lesson. The stuff with the Minoans later, that's pretty self-explanatory, so I think you can kind of figure that out on your own. But I will have a tutorial that's also in our Canvas lesson if you want to check that out. But let's go ahead and talk about the Greeks. So we are going to look here specifically at how geography affects how civilizations develop, and then also we're going to look at a little bit of bias, because when we talk about the Greeks, especially when we get to the next lesson, and we talk about Athens and Sparta and a few of the city-states, and then eventually Persia, we have to address bias, because we tend, in our kind of like Western sense of kind of the view of the world, that we have lots in common with the Greeks as opposed to places like Persia, when maybe the story is a little bit more complicated than that. Okay, so what I would like you to do first, and this is actually on your own, is to go ahead and spend some time in Google Maps, and please look up places like Athens, Sparta. We'll talk about this other place called Thermopylae, okay, but this place that is called Greece, which is located right here. Sorry, I was circling Italy. Right here is Greece. So please take a look around on Google Maps, and once you've done that, then let's keep going on. Okay, so basically what do you need to know about Greece's geography? It's pretty straightforward. There's not too much complicated about it, except you have to understand there's kind of multiple things going on at the same time. So Greece is, first of all, extremely mountainous. Part of the Alps is there, but then also some other kind of like minor mountain ranges are there. And what this causes is, because the terrain is so mountainous, is that for the people that live in Greece, they become kind of isolated from each other, relatively speaking. Now, obviously, did they still communicate? Yeah, totally. But it kind of strengthens the idea that these peoples can begin to develop kind of their own places to live, and that's how we get pretty much many of the different Greek city-states. Okay, so it causes isolation. However, at the same time, Greece is surrounded by the Aegean Sea. And if we go back here, we can actually see that. It is right here, okay, all around Greece. It's part of the Mediterranean, and that, but at the same time that it's being isolated, it actually kind of links many of these city-states together. So they trade with each other. They eventually will kind of develop this idea of a kind of a common Greek heritage and culture, but we still are kind of left with the end of the day that we have these independent Greek city-states, and that they are able, because of the sea, to trade with each other. Okay. Now, so yes, I keep mentioning these city-states. You probably have heard of some of them. Athens, Sparta are probably the two best known ones, but there's lots and lots and lots and lots of others. Corinth, Delphi, which also make appearances in the movie 300. But speaking of 300, we should probably also talk about what's going on at the same time of the Greeks, and that is the Phoenicians and also the Persian Empire is happening. And what I mean by that is, Greece just doesn't exist in a bubble. It exists at the same time that other things are happening in the world. Nothing is isolated from it. And so I will tell you right now that the common bias that most people approach with Greece is that they look at Greece as like, this is the beginning of Western civilization and the start of when people were civilized and cultured and were starting to learn things, which is partially true. But we also, from the Persians, get lots and lots of also very equally innovative ideas. And, we've talked about the Persians earlier in our semester, like stuff like bureaucracies and mail systems and all the other things that the Persians will go on and kind of also invent. But because of movies like 300, if you haven't seen 300, go see it, and then understand that it's pretty inaccurate. But if you haven't seen 300, basically what they make it look like in that movie is that the Greek city-states are awesome and Persia is completely evil, as exemplified by Mr. Xerxes down here, who's apparently like 9 feet tall and wears yellow bikinis. Also not true. Okay, so just be aware of those kind of common biases that we tend to have with Greece and the Persians, or at least you may not be aware of them, but now you know. Okay, so as you're kind of ending here, I'd like you to think about kind of two possible, or kind of two kind of higher order thinking questions about possibilities here and kind of higher order thinking kind of things. So first of all, what do you think it might take for all of these independent Greek city-states to unify? And then second, what civilization, there's actually a couple of them that you could pick on, that we've studied so far is most similar to how the Greek city-states are organized? Okay, so I will leave you there. Please be aware there is an exit ticket also after this on class time, and then you'll go on to do stuff with the Minoans, and that is also pretty equally interesting. There's 2 things of homework, which is the Minoan apocalypse, which you'll find right here, and then also a John Green crash course video with a worksheet that goes along with it. So please do not forget both of those. But until that time, good luck on those, and hopefully this video helped. See you next time.